You have to tell me when you fade in, 'cause I don't know.
We're live now, but 2 minutes. I'll give you a thumbs up.
All right, everybody. Welcome back to week 2, Travis and Tyler show. I'm Travis. We got Tyler on the other side. We got a lot to talk about this week. A lot of college basketball. We got a tournament coming up. So let's just jump right into it.
Let's do it.
So we've got a few automatic qualifiers that have already been decided. So we got Liberty, Winthrop, Drexel.
Can I put, before you continue, let's not forget the fact that Alcorn State technically won that freaking conference, and because was Alcorn? No, it's North Alabama. But just because that North Alabama is not postseason eligible is the only reason Liberty's getting in. So let's give props to, I think it's Northern Alabama, because they are just making the transition from D2 to D1. So fuck Liberty, fuck Jerry, what's his face, like everything they stand for. So it should have been out Northern Alabama or whatever their team is. Anyways, go for it. Sorry.
Oh, that's fine. So Liberty with an asterisk.
Asterisk, there it is.
Out of the Atlantic Sun. Then Mount St. Mary, Morehead State, UNC Greenboro, Oral Roberts, Appalachian State, and Gonzaga. So we got about 10 teams that have qualified so far. Then nobody else until Saturday, but we got a whole lot of action going on today.
And I am
Uh,
currently watching the IU game too. So if you see me like scream or anything like that, I'll be live reacting because IU just went on a big run. They're up by 3 now. Travis.
okay.
They turned it on. Trace had a couple dunks.
Yeah, I had I had him up earlier, but
They're on 8-0 run right now. So I'd say a lot of action going on today. Like you said, who will we know on Saturday? Big East.
pretty much every conference except for like the SEC, the AAC, and the Big 12. I think are the only three.
And Big Ten. Big Ten's conference championships on Sunday too. It's like the
So
last game before Selection Sunday show starts.
yeah. Um, so yeah, you won't see me doing any live reaction because Kentucky lost earlier today.
Unfortunately.
I can't really say it was a heartbreaker, but it was. Usual shenanigans. You know, they're down by 10, 15 early in the game, came back up by 5 with 2 minutes ago, and then they just pissed it away like they do every other game.
Well, I think a lot of we kind of talked about it last week. This being a kind of a COVID year, but I think a lot of teams or fans of Kentucky were happy just to have the season over. Honestly, I don't know, it'd be nice, but after enduring what you guys had,
I would like to see them play Alabama tomorrow, but, oh well. Better team won.
oh man, freaking this game's gonna give me a heart attack. Truth be told. We had Michigan State lose today. We'll be talking about two, kind of our mock brackets and stuff.
Yeah, so Michigan State won, Creighton won.
No, Michigan State lost. Maryland won.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Mississippi State won. Kansas is beating Oklahoma right now. Western Kentucky is beating UTSA right now, so that's good. One of my dark horses.
Now, is Western Kentucky, you think, gonna have to win their conference to get in?
Probably, but there's I don't know. It's a little bit tough to say this year, but most likely yes.
Okay.
If they go to the championship game, it might be.
Are they in Conference USA still?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they're playing TSA. I don't even know what their mascot is, but
I don't think anybody does.
Then Oklahoma State won. That was a big game.
Oklahoma State did win.
Yeah, it's one of my dark horses. If we want, we can just jump right into our mock brackets.
Yeah, let's do it. So you can go ahead and share your screen if you want. I'll put it up here and kind of see what you got going on with your mock bracket.
Let's see here.
There you go. You're on it.
Okay. Okay, so yeah, not much. Not really many surprises here. I have Gonzaga, Baylor, Michigan, Illinois. I just think Illinois has been playing too good lately, and they have a pretty solid case for being number one. None of their losses are outside the quad one, so I'm 2 line here. Got Houston, which is a little bit of a surprise, but again, they have a really solid record. They don't have any bad losses. And Ohio State, Iowa. It's interesting. There's 4 Big Ten teams here in the top 8. So maybe this is the year that Big Ten wins.
Yeah, dude, I don't know.
21 years
since Michigan State won it in 2000.
Yeah. And then Alabama, who again, I think they get the right matchups. I think that's a definite Final Four dark horse right there.
Man,
and with West Virginia losing today, I kind of I have Oklahoma State down here. I almost want to move Oklahoma State up and move Texas down now,
but hey, this is it for now. We can always make a change, next week when the brackets actually come out.
Right. Yeah, I think the other interesting thing, Florida State is my highest ranked ACC team with them and Virginia being on the same line, and another Big Ten team here in Purdue. Honestly, after these top 12 teams, I mean, 13 through 28 here is just it's kind of a toss up.
Right? Yeah. I mean,
there's not much of a difference.
well, any ones from these power conferences, like it's all going to depend on how their respective tournaments go down. But there's going to be a lot of fluctuation, I think, in between those. I could see, what if Texas wins the Big 12? They could probably jump up to a 3. Drop
Right.
Kansas down, or if Texas Tech makes a run, they could probably pop up to at least a 4. So definitely, we're still on that just very, very mock. I mean, you're already doing better than Joe Lenardi, so let's just go ahead and put that out there
Right.
with your bracket prediction, because he's only like the 48th ranked bracketologist.
I think the biggest thing here is Villanova. They've lost their top 2 guys, and they lost today. They could get penalized pretty hard. It might even put them down here, on the 5 line.
Yeah.
And with Florida State or Texas and one of these teams moving up to the 3 line. Yeah, that's the bottom of the bracket is probably the biggest deviation from most people, because I don't think most people have Drake being as an at-large.
Yeah, and I'm surprised you put him there, honestly. I mean, it's bold, dude.
I just, I have a feeling about him, and we kind of talked about this earlier. The Missouri Valley, in my opinion, is probably the second best mid-major conference behind the AAC.
Yeah, I could give that. I could give you that.
It's right up there with the Atlantic 10.
Yeah,
Conference USA. I'd probably say it's a step above Conference USA, but and it seems like every year there's 1 or 2 teams from Missouri Valley that that come out and they surprise everybody. We've seen Loyola, Wichita State, and we saw Northern Iowa and Bradley.
Yeah.
A decade ago now. So
well, even what was it, 2017? Northern Iowa had that pretty good team that beat Texas, and then lost to Texas A&M on some BS. Like they're up like that was that one where they were like 13 with a minute and a half to go and they lost or went to overtime and lost.
Yeah, that was a rough one. So yeah, and Georgia Tech, they won today. They come back from behind to beat Miami, but they still won. They beat Duke. They beat Kentucky. And VCU's had a solid resume all year, and solid for me to be in, but not quite be safe.
Right.
To me, the biggest is Syracuse. I'm still, for me, it was between Syracuse and Maryland.
Right.
But Duke obviously. That's not even a.
Get them out. They're not doing anything.
They're no longer a question. NC State got beat today, so they're out there. Xavier's been struggling the last week or two. So
notice the Big East isn't as good as it has been in years past.
Right.
I think that plays in a lot to it. It's like I think I said last week. It's super top heavy this year. You got Villanova, you got Creighton.
Yeah, and Villanova, honestly, I could probably see them getting upset in the first round, no matter what their seed is.
Yeah, I can see that too.
That's probably a pick I'll make on a lot of brackets. So yeah, that's then beyond the 11 seeds, this is all just kind of a guess.
Yeah, just
all these lower conference teams are just kind of the same. It's hard to predict seeding and who's going to win what, but
all right,
that's my bracket, and now we can take a look at Tyler's.
Let's
see how bad it is.
Yeah, okay. Let's see. Let's bring mine up here. Go ahead and stop sharing yours, and I'll bring mine up. Let's see. Let's share my screen. Bracket. Let's do 60. And I gotta bring it over here. There we go. Oh, that's my wrong screen. There we go. Du-du-du. All right, here we go, Travis. I kind of, took yours a little bit, and as you'll see on my 11 line, it's very contingent on what happens in this game I'm watching right now.
Yeah.
Because I think, and you also see I put Maryland on the 11 line too after them beating Michigan State. I think if IU wins today, I think they have a good shot to beat Illinois, and I think if they beat Rutgers, they beat Illinois, and move on to play Wisconsin, Iowa, or Penn State. Whoever we'll say Wisconsin. Whoever wins Wisconsin, Iowa. We've already beat Iowa twice.
Yeah.
I think we took Wisconsin to double overtime in Madison. I think we have a good shot there. I think that those are the ones that IU needs to even be back into the conversation on the 11 seed. So it's very contingent. I'm being a homer, definitely with this, but
nothing wrong with that.
Because I just want to see it happen. To be nice to see, because I would put IU at 15-15 and beating Rutgers, who's a tournament team, beating Illinois, who's going to be a 1 or a 2 seed. I'll get to that in a second, and beating Iowa, who's could be a 2 or a 3 seed, and then that puts them in the Big Ten championship game against Ohio State or Michigan, is what it boils down to. And you'll see, Travis, that I have Ohio State beating Michigan in the Big Ten championship, or that I have them winning the Big Ten championship. And so if that happens, I have Ohio State taking Illinois' spot on the 1 line, because that means IU beats them and drops Illinois down to a 2. I liked yours with Alabama as a 2. I'm cool with that. I put Creighton down to a 5, and I put Oklahoma State as a 6. I swapped those two right there that you had. I also put Virginia on this 3 line as well. It took who did I move? I forget who I moved. You didn't have Virginia. I put Kansas on the 3, and I put Baylor. Yeah, because I moved Villanova because I have Kansas beating Baylor, or Kansas winning the Big 12 championship.
Okay.
I just I like Baylor. Don't get me wrong. I still think they're going to be on the 1 line. It might be moved down. They might not be as high of a 1. They might be the 3rd or 4th one. But I don't see them. I don't know. It just Kansas is Kansas. For some reason they turn it on when they turn it on. Let's see. I kept Syracuse in there. I think depending on how they do with that, I took I forget who you had here at the 11, but I put IU in.
Georgia Tech.
Yeah, I took Georgia Tech out. I just don't. And you said that, they had wins over Kentucky and Duke, but what do those wins mean? I mean, they were bubble team. Kentucky wasn't even in, and Duke's wasn't going.
Okay, all right.
Well, I'm just saying it just doesn't hold as much weight as it does in years past. So I just don't think that they're going to be in. Let's see. I moved Texas Tech up a little bit. I think that they can make a run in the Big 12 tournament as well. I liked where you had Western Kentucky. I kept Loyola where it is. I took Drake out. I don't think Drake's going to make it at large. I just don't think that they have the pedigree and the they split with Loyola, and I just don't think that's they lost. They lose to Loyola in the championship. Was that who it was? Was it Drake and Loyola? I can't remember.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, and if they would have won that, sure, Loyola and Drake would have got in, but Drake needed that to win it.
Well, the thing about Georgia Tech is they beat Clemson, they beat Florida State, they beat North Carolina, so they beat Virginia Tech, who they were all ranked at the time. They beat Kentucky when Kentucky was ranked.
That's true.
So yeah, agree to disagree.
Yeah, I mean that's why we do this, to kind of go back and forth and kind of see, and we'll see who's laughing on Selection Sunday.
True.
I like Oklahoma State as at 6 because that's going to be a badass bottom half of a bracket, whatever that 6-11 game, and then.
I mean, yeah, honestly, if Oklahoma State goes on, wins the Big 12 tournament, I mean they could go up to a 3 seed.
Yeah, definitely, and like we talked last week, Kate Cunningham's that dude that can freaking carry them there.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see, and it's going to be kind of like John Morant. Like it's just going to be fun to watch him in the tournament. Like that's what all we're wanting for at this point in time is just to see how much he can take over. Um, I think I contemplated moving USC up if they win the Pac-12. Um, Not like the Pac-12 is tough or anything, but man, USC's good. Andy Enfield
Yeah.
had a bad couple years, but I think with Mobley and the class that he's got going around right now, I think that they could probably jump up to a 4. I don't think they can go any higher than a 4, but they could replace Villanova on that 4 line, especially like you said, being penalized for losing today and then being hurt.
Yeah. It's just Pac-12 is just it's just a weak conference. I mean, I always it's like that every year. It seems like USC. I think they're 21-6, and Oregon is 19-5. So they have a lot of wins.
Right.
The top 2 in their conference, and it's hard to place two teams within Power 5 conference with those records any lower than what I had them.
Right.
I mean, I have UCLA in there, and UCLA I think is in overtime right now with Oregon State.
Oh wow.
So
yeah,
they could get knocked out completely if they lose to Oregon State.
Right. Yeah, that's very true. But yeah, that's my little bracket there. We'll see on what happens. Selection Sunday, Rutgers went on a run, so IU's down again. So it's not looking good. That's for sure.
Actually, Oregon State beat UCLA.
Oh, did they really?
So, yeah, I just saw that. Wow. Okay, well, we'll see how that affects everything because, that might drop them down 1 or 2 seeds completely out, if you ask me. But, anyways, we'll see on Sunday.
Yeah, definitely we'll see on Sunday. So I'll go ahead and stop sharing my screen. There we go. We're back to this.
Then I got my notes here that some of the teams that should be on upset alert early in the tourney because there's a few of these teams that even though there's going to be seed high, I don't trust. Like Villanova.
Oh yeah, definitely not.
Virginia, Texas.
I don't trust Virginia at all.
Tennessee, like all those teams. I guess Tennessee just they have a good record. They have a good net ranking, but I mean, we played them and they just didn't look good.
I was saying you guys smacked them.
And Texas, same with Texas. They've been it feels like they've been inconsistent, but
yeah, they were hot. They were super hot at the beginning of the year, but I don't know. I can be with you on that definitely.
So those are some of the teams I have kind of on upset alert early in the tourney. And anybody who plays Western Kentucky, I'm just gonna pick them.
Oh, so you got to pick, yeah.
I'm high on them, so
I'm just really curious how these mobile teams do. Yeah, I don't know. I just can't wait till Selection Sunday. Even if IU loses, like that's fine. I mean, so be it. We talked about coaching hot seats last year, and I'm sure the buzz is going to get even hotter about Archie, but I just don't think they're going to pull the trigger on him this year, just because Brad Stevens not getting fired anytime soon, and I think that's the only person you can really go after, unless they give him some kind of ungodly amount of money. But I did hear from a reliable source that actually knows Brad Stevens, that
he's not leaving the NBA,
but that Brad Stevens' wife wants to go back to college because of the downtime. So, and that Brad Stevens' top 2 is Duke or IU. That's the only places he would go. So, take that.
You don't think he'd come to Kentucky?
No, and I guess this source also says that Coach K and Brad Stevens have already talked about it. There being like a succession plan because Duke is higher up on the priority list than IU. So it'd be a little interesting tidbit there. I got sources now apparently.
Yeah, I guess that would be a groundbreaking move. I mean, I don't see it happening, but if it did,
Mark Cuban comes with big time booster money, then sure, yeah. I mean, that's the only person I can. Or freaking Simon Scott chick that paid for the renovations to Assembly Hall, like. if they were, it'd be interesting to see if he'd come back to the college ranks for, 8 million a year, or however much, how much it would take. Like, he would be the highest paid coach in the NCAA. There's no doubt about it. It'd be a lot of hype, and then watch him fucking just lose for 4 years. That'd be fucking our luck, dude.
Well, speaking of dude, honestly, I think this COVID thing is a cop out.
Really?
I mean, they said they're ending their season. I'm like, you're 13-11. Like, you could still get in, because we talked a little bit about the NIT. The NCAA is going to make their top 4 seeds contingency, based on if teams can't make the tournament.
Right.
Like that's a very real possibility of Duke being one of those teams, and they're like, no.
Yeah, top, the top seed in the NIT. It's going to be like the year that. What was it? The year that you said that they didn't want to play the game at home in the NIT. I can't remember what year that was.
Kentucky did that one year and they lost.
Yeah, to Robert Morris. I remember that was the year that IU was the number 1 seed. It was kind of sweet justice. But you guys had just won it the year before, so like whatever. Did you want to segue into the? Was that your blurb on the NIT seeding?
Yeah, that was it. I just wanted to talk about, I thought that was interesting that's how the NCAA is going to handle it. And, they're only doing 16 teams in the NIT, so that's going to be a little different.
That is a little different, yeah. Huh.
So we'll see.
If you had to pick a national championship right now, who would it be? I'm putting you on the spot here.
I mean, Gonzaga, Baylor. I mean, I know it's a cop out, but they've been the best 2 teams all year. If I had to pick a different a different championship, man. Alabama and we'll go Alabama, Oklahoma State.
Ooh, now that'd be a fun ass game.
Yeah, both those teams get hot. Alabama being the 3-point shooting team they are, and Oklahoma State having Cade Cunningham.
Yeah,
it'd be a hell of a game.
If I had, besides 1 seeds, if I had to pick, I would probably say, depending on how brackets turn out, I would say Kansas. Kansas and Houston. If they're on the opposite side, I think that'd be kind of fun. It would suck because freaking Kelvin Sampson just rubbing in our face again.
Let me tell you, I feel sorry for every Dayton fan right now.
Oh, I know. Last year's
sick to my stomach.
Yeah, last year's team, man. Obi Toppin he was one of those guys that could carry all the way. Like, he was going to be one of those.
So, which team you have in the bottom half of the bracket that would have the best chance to make a Final Four run? So, 9 seed or lower.
9 seed or lower. If we're going off ours, man.
I know one, if they make it. Maybe Michigan State.
Yeah, and so Michigan State, if they should get in, I would think. But yeah, they're on my IU. Looks like they're going to lose. They missed 7 free throws tonight. Michigan State's I said last week, Michigan State's my dark horse. I think they can make a run, but they didn't really do much to help me out with that theory today by losing to Maryland. So here we are. Right. And then I think Wisconsin could make a run too. I think it'll be a Big Ten team. I think Wisconsin's good enough. They just fell off a cliff, dude. I don't understand why. I mean, they have the shooting. They have the experience, I guess you could say, of being, all their guys are 4 to 5 year players.
I mean, that happened to a couple of Big Ten teams this year. Minnesota and you guys and Wisconsin.
Yeah. Just fell off.
Xavier. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know if it was COVID or it's just how it went.
I'm not sure, man. I just don't know. Did you think about that question I texted you a couple days ago about your top 4 tournament games of all time? Or did you just
Oh,
ignore my text message? Wow.
honestly, I forgot you sent it, but I can think I could come up with something.
Well,
Real
we can
quick.
always put it. Let's do it next week. Give you some more time
Okay.
to think about it that way, because that'll be at the heart. I mean, Thursday is Thursday the first day of tournament, or is it Friday? I
No,
think
it's Thursday.
is it Thursday? Well, then there we
Yeah.
go. It'll be a great. We'll have tournament games going on in the background. We can be getting some live scoring and stuff like that. Um, oh God, IU's down by 5 with 2.5 minutes to go. Let's see what happens. I'm gonna segue into my favorite topic of the day right now. A topic I've been meaning to touch on is fucking Greg Lansing. So, for people that don't know, Indiana State's head coach Greg Lansing got let go. Not let go, but they mutually agreed to part ways. Um, that's a, sorry. That I gotta turn this off. Within that, everybody's up in arms here locally because Greg Lansing to them is a good coach, and he's like had a winning season. He's like 100 and what do we say 100 and at the end
180 and 164.
yeah, he's been there 11 years, and he's got a lot of backers that are saying that because he has the lowest payroll. Like ISU does not put money into their college basketball. Let's be honest. Let's say it. But you bring in a new athletic director. As always, a new athletic director wants to get his own guy in there. I don't think it had to do anything with Greg Lansing's performance, but he's a middle of the pack coach, and that's what he'll always be. And everybody's like, well, the budget. I don't know. I mean, I'm trying to think of examples of great coaches doing stuff with kids with at shitty schools, at small schools. I mean, you could harken back to, I don't know, I'm trying to think what Steve Peichel did at Stony Brook. I mean, what
You could take Jim Calhoun and Northeastern. And,
yeah, I was gonna say, I mean, if you're a proven winner, and the fact that he's never gotten an offer from a higher level program, like, you're always just going to be a middle of the road pack, and ISU is always going to be one of these like stepping, you're going to go from another to Indiana State, then you're going to get a big time Power 5 job or a big time conference job. So I think with ISU making this move, I think it's great. I know they have their, according to a Twitter I read the other day, they have their guy pegged, but I did not like Greg Lansing. I don't think he brought anything special to the game. Yeah, he won 18 to 16 games a year, but I mean, he made the tournament once. Like, if you were wanting to compete and if you want to build a brand, you have to make the tournament more than once. And that was, Jake Odomir. Like, and he hasn't really had anybody like that. I mean, Tyreek Key was really good. But I think back to when I was a kid and Indiana State made the tournament, 2 or 3 times with, I think it was just twice under Royce Waltman. Had the great Michael Menser teams that beat IU at IU, once or twice.
Yeah, you have the better perspective being there in Terre Haute, but just me looking at it from the outside and seeing his yearly records and what he's done, I'm like, oh, okay, that's not that surprising he got let go. I mean,
and every time I talked to him, he was a jerk. Honestly, he was a jerk. I used to run into him on campus. I'd see him at the bookstore a lot, and he was just big shotting around like he was the cool student. I'm like, dude, you made $500,000 a year as a Division I basketball coach.
He's essentially Greg Marshall.
Yeah, kind of. And Greg Marshall did a lot more. And you would think, like, that'd be cool if, like, Indiana State got a place where they were really good. They had a great coach. And maybe, I don't think they'll ever leave the Missouri Valley. But, if they get, imagine, like, I'm trying to think, a Chris Mack type of person or Chris Holtman or somebody like that. Like, proves themselves at these lesser conferences and moves up into a Power 5. That's my take on Greg Lansing. I think it was the right move. I think it was time for a new fresh face, honestly. Something revigorating at the offense. I mean, I kind of compare it to Nate McMillan at the Pacers. Yeah, they made the playoffs every year, but, they always lost in the first round. So, I mean, what are you really accomplishing? You're not doing anything. You're not destined for longevity. Like, it's just, you need a shot in the arm, so to speak.
Yeah, and, there's a good comparison within their own conference with Evansville. Evansville was the same way. They had what's his name, coach there for like 10, 15 years, and Marty
Well,
Simmons.
yeah,
Marty Simmons.
Marty, he played at IU.
And everyone's like, well, why did you let him go? He did, he was decent. He had 20, 25 win seasons. Okay, well, he made the CIT and the CBI every year. He never made the NCAA.
Right.
And granted, they hired Walter McCarty, who that didn't turn out so well.
It was good for a little bit when they beat Kentucky.
Oh, okay. Well, it was good for one game, and I'm never going to hear the end of it.
Nope. Then he started having sex with.
Yeah. Then you got your sources. I got my sources who say he supposedly impregnated some girl on campus. And they covered it up. But anyways, so yeah, it's a lot of these small time schools like that. They get too mired in within their own mediocrity and.
Yeah, and then there's like, the last time I saw Indiana State play in person was against Wichita State when they were undefeated. That game was awesome.
Yeah, I bet.
And it was rocking.
I would love to go if Evansville had RN. I would love to go to that.
And it was nice to a freaking awesome experience. Like, but I mean, since then bring a powerhouse. Bring that feeling back to Terre Haute. Like, I mean, the feeling's even gone.
Bring back that Larry Bird feeling.
Yeah, where's Larry Bird at when you need? Where's Larry Bird Jr.? Where's he at? Like Larry Bird had to freaking he was hot for the '80s, so he had to bang some chicks and get him pregnant, right? I mean, where's that kiddo at? I don't know. I just think the it'll be refreshing, I think, to not see fucking dumbass Greg Lansing on the sideline at Indiana State. If you look. Dude, yeah, Skyler, I know, I don't. People are just up in arms. I'm like, if it's just mediocrity written all over his fucking face. Like, if you're good enough, if you're Greg Lansing and you think you're good, like, you're going to move up. Like, people are going to come looking for it. And your record's going to reflect that. Not 18-12, not 17-13, not third to eighth in the third to sixth in the Missouri Valley. Like, that's not a recipe for success. That's not showing any innovation. And everybody's like, oh, and I've said this before, and I'll say it again. Oh, you can't recruit with that budget. Well, make them put money into the budget. Like, prove yourself that you're going to be a good coach, and do with what the money they give you, and then they'll start throwing more money in it. They'll start giving you more access to your resources and stuff like that. I mean,
it's not like there's not local talent in Indiana,
right? And
you can scream money all you want, but it eventually comes down to coaching the players the way that you want them to be coached within the system you come up with.
Right. Yeah, it's got and all these players transferring, and so everybody's freaking out. Like, Cooper Neese is a mediocre talent. Yeah, thank you. And that's what I said earlier, Skyler. Like, you won early with somebody else's players, and he hasn't been back to the tournament since. Like, if he was a legitimately good coach, he would have made another appearance to the NCAA. I mean, that's just plain and simple. You can't. This isn't. I don't know. It's like you're.
And like we said, Missouri Valley is a good conference, and Indiana State should be honestly, Indiana State should be a stepping stone from like IPFW or
right. Yeah.
Bowie. So,
Well, and also too, and everybody's comparing it again to the football program. Well, the football program showed out and was really good for a couple of years without getting the money, and so they pumped more money into it. And that's how it works. Like, I mean, if you're going to complain about, the budget and all that shit, then, and I said this to my dad. I know that, like I said earlier, they got some guy from D2 that they want to hire. I think take a fucking flyer, dude. Corey Alford, Huntington, he's going to be the next big name in coaching. He's a high school coach right now. If you can look up Huntington Prep stats. He's taken them. From I think they're 9-23 his first year. Same players. These guys were, incoming freshmen 9-23. They won the regional or run their sectional this year with like 22 wins or something like that. Like, every year he's shown improvement. So I mean, I would say take a flyer or get a good. This D2 coach looks good too. I mean, well, something different, something I don't.
like somebody like Calvert Cheney or somebody, you know.
Oh God, I would. Yeah. Oh, Calvert's assistant with the Pacers now. I don't think he's going anywhere anytime soon. So, um, and that's what people are going to say about Archie too. Bring Calvert, bring Steve Alford. Fuck that. Get out of here. I want none of that.
Steve Alford. Yeah, right.
I had somebody reply to me on Twitter about that. Well, we need to hire Steve Alford. Well, look how good he did at UCLA. They fired him. Like if he can't hack it at UCLA and gets fired, his name doesn't mean anything in Indiana anymore. No, I mean, yeah, that was 19. I was just born. That was 33 years ago that Steve Alford did anything in Indiana. These kids don't want to go play for Steve Alford or that tie to Indiana. Yeah, maybe. I mean, he's doing okay. I think he's in New Mexico now or Nevada or something like that. One of those. He's always out west. But I think with Steve Alford and the way he handled that whole Pierre Pierce thing, I would stay away from him with the 20-foot pole, man. Yeah, exactly, Scott. Like, and that's all. And that's all it is. Just these gray heads on Twitter. Oh, we need the Robert Montgomery Knight connection. We need this, and this. No, get the fuck out of here. Nobody cares about Bobby Knight. That's, yeah, Bobby was there when I was cool, and he was awesome. But that's so long ago. Like, I don't.
Man, IU fans of Bobby Knight, I will never get it.
Dude, sorry.
You don't hear Kentucky fans talking about Rick Pitino.
No, yeah, you don't. Well, it's or Adolph Rupp. Like, that's a better reference, honestly.
Yeah, probably, or Joby Hall, or
Joby Hall. Well, yeah, because remember that, I still think it's funny that Bobby Knight slapped Joby Hall upside the head.
Yeah,
or Eddie Sutton.
Eddie Sutton, yeah, fuck him.
That's took that money from was it Dwayne
Casey.
Dwayne Casey, that's it, yeah.
He should, Dwayne Casey dated my aunt.
Yeah. Henderson connection.
Morganfield.
Oh, he was Morganfield, wasn't he?
Yeah.
That's crazy, dude.
Fun fact.
So that's my if Archie does get fired, I don't agree with it. Like I said I said it last week, but powers that be are bigger than me. So I'm gonna move. Yeah, we can move on. We could talk about this all day, dude. I'm gonna touch briefly on the news coming out about Luke Garza getting his number retired. I don't know if anybody knows that Luke Garza passed Roy Marble to be all-time leading scorer in Iowa's history. And at his senior day, they're like, yeah, we're going to retire your number. But they didn't ever retire Roy Marble's number. And I think it plays into a lot of it. I think the backlash is disrespect to Roy Marble. He was fucking great. Led him to Elite Eight or Final Four. I can't remember.
Final Four.
Yeah, like he was so good. And the fact that Iowa has this stuff coming out now about racism in the football program. And,
oh, yeah. I forgot about that.
And like their AD just got fired, or like, that's the guy that they hired at Jacksonville as the team president or whatever, and then he had to resign because of all the backlash. I think you have a lot of factors here that a white guy is getting his jersey retired over Roy Marble never even being considered. Like they never even talked about it. So I think that those two things are like, if Roy Marble was so good. And he was. Why isn't his jersey in the rafters? And so you have, so I think there's a lot of layers to that and understandably so. I think what constitutes Luke Garza getting it over Roy Marble? Just the points. I mean, Luke Garza hasn't taken him to a Final Four. Luke Garza hasn't, won a Big Ten title with him. Like,
I don't even think he's taking him to a Sweet 16.
No, DEFCON Fran always acts up, and they always just blow it.
DEFCON Fran. I told you earlier, I'm waiting for those allegations to come out.
Dude, there's got to be. Well, he's got like 19 kids. I swear all of his kids just play for him. He's just going to keep having kids. He's going to 16 McCaffreys on the bench. I mean, I'll never forget, if Danny Combs is watching, dude, Joe Wieskamp came into the bookstore when I was working in Muscatine, and I was like, you ready to get smacked this year? Next year, because he went to Iowa and played. And he's like, and then he, I think his freshman year's first game, I think it was with, right before OG got hurt, and OG just dominated him. Like, took him to the house, like, dunked on him 2 or 3 times, blocked him. Like, there was just nothing there. So, but yeah, that's my little dig on Iowa and just bad handling of it. Like just very poorly handled. Let's see.
Well, I think that's all we got for college basketball.
Yeah,
If we
this
want to
week
move
until
on
the
to baseball.
yeah, let's do it.
Not a whole lot going on. Still spring training and yeah, there's some teams looking good. Detroit and Kansas City, who projected to be the bottom of the division. 8-3, 6-3, and
Yeah, and I just don't put much stock into those Cactus League standings or anything. The spring training.
right, but still. White Sox are 1-5, and Atlanta's like 4-7 or something.
Yeah.
So
I'd say I'm pumped that Kopech made his debut. I know. I mean, in his short, I think he only played like 2 innings or something like that. But man, he went 1-2-3 in this first inning that he played, struck 3 Ks right off the bat. Like his fastball. His fastball was up in top of 98, 99. Like he can throw triple digits once he gets warm.
yeah,
And I'm just.
I think the big thing is that this will be the first sports to have full stadiums with fans. So,
Well, just in Texas.
well, just in Texas, but still,
They get 20% in Chicago.
who
Skylar asked why you like every annoying ass team in the world. Being a Braves fan, a Cowboys fan.
Oh, come on. He's a fucking Colts fan. They're the worst fans in the world.
But you missed it last week, Skylar. We gave the Cardinals some props. We're pretty sure they're going to win that NL Central, and we were trashing on the Cubs because the Cubs are.
He's a Cardinals fan. It's even worse. What are you talking about? Yeah, here's Skylar.
Well, I think we called the Cardinals the Yankees of the NL because they're just always right there, like competing. And I think
ass next time
say what?
I'm gonna whoop Skylar's ass next time I see him.
And what do you think about this universal designated hitter being delayed?
Oh, so okay. This pisses me off. Nobody wants to see a fucking pitcher try to hit the ball. Nobody wants to see it. Why is this not a thing in the National League? Like, who cares about baseball? Baseball just astounds me sometimes with some of the traditions and the unwritten rules. Like, shut the hell up and get over yourself.
Yeah.
Like, get the DH in there. Let's get some offense. Nobody wants to see some slow, pudgy ass pitcher get up here and swing and whiff 3 times in a row.
The only exception I can think of that is when Bartolo Colon hit that home run. Watching a 41-year-old fat Bartolo Colon run the bases, it's like, but I completely agree. Like, I had somebody argue with me, Jimmy Coleslaw, because he's a Reds fan, argue with me that, it adds a strategy to the game by having the pitchers hit. Like, no, it doesn't.
What strategy? Like, take one batter away from the team so you have 8 batters? Is that the strategy? I don't fucking get it. Like, it's
Well, and like you said, like, yeah, Madison Bumgarner can hit too. And what's it, Shohei Ohtani? Like, he cool when he pitches. Like, that'd be kind of cool to watch him hit. Like, yeah, because he's a live this threat. But speaking on the unwritten rule stuff, we have in here too about bat flips, and like people getting pissed at Tatis for celebrating hitting a grand slam when they were up or whatever. Like these unwritten rules, and so a bat flip.
If I was Fernando Tatis, I would do that on every hit.
Doesn't matter if it's a double, dude. Just fucking.
I wouldn't give a shit. Like, you bitch about me hitting, pitch it better.
Yeah, like
pitch it better.
Stop
your fucking your whinging. Ugh.
It's just it's all very white. It's all so white. These unwritten rules of baseball, like. you're not supposed to bat flip. You're not supposed to showboat. Like, get the fuck out of here. If you want to portray and keep a younger audience, that's how you have to do it. You have to Tim Anderson. Every time if you smack one, I would carry that bat with me to second base and then throw it at the outfield. Like
dude, I would put the bat in between my legs and jerk it off on every pitcher I fucking went up against. You kidding me?
Like, baseball's boring. I mean, that's just the way it is. I mean,
yeah,
it's kind of like NASCAR. I can fall asleep in the middle and not miss anything. Like, it only matters like in the 8th and 9th inning when I wake up.
And the other thing that pisses me off is these pitchers intentionally hitting batters because somebody said something or looked at some guy the wrong way 7 games ago. I'm like, oh my god, you fucking little babies.
Yeah, I don't get that at all.
Somebody pelts me with the goddamn baseball at 100 miles an hour. You better believe I'm fucking throwing hands.
Yeah, I'm running right at it for some bullshit that doesn't even matter. Like I'll never get that. So I'm all for bat flips, and I guess that's what was my biggest concern with Tony La Russa being with the Sox is he's very much that old school baseball, and Ricky Renteria.
He's the whitest of the white, and
Renteria was very much let them play, let them have fun, and I guess the message I'm getting from reading Tim Anderson interviews, it might just be all lip service, but I guess he's letting them flaunt it out and let them be swaggy with it. Like if you hit it and you want to bat flip, you want to celebrate, go for it. Like you said, like if they're going to get mad at you flipping a bat, then they need to throw it better.
Yeah, there is I don't know if you want to call it a niche or a market for some team to be like what the Bulls were in the '90s, like the showboating, the showing off the skills. Like there needs baseball needs that right now.
And I think that's a Padres. Honestly, I think it's a Padres with the lineup they have with Machado, Tatis. Like, I think that they're going to be that fun team. Like, okay. So here's another one. Yankees, you can't have facial hair or long hair. Like, what the fuck kind of cult is that?
What?
Yeah, if you play for the Yankees, you have to shave your beard and cut your hair.
What kind of fuddy-duddy old man bullshit is that?
Because Garrett Cole, was it Garrett Cole? Yeah, he had to shave his beard and stuff.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
that's the first I've heard of that. That is insane.
You can, I mean, I might be wrong. Skylar, if you're still in here, if you can back me up, I mean, Google it. I think that's still a thing. I know it was when, what's his nuts? The Father Time was the owner of the Yankees. I can't think of his name now. I keep thinking Jerry Krause, but that's the owner of the White Sox.
The New York Yankees appearance policy has its own Wikipedia page.
There it is. Yeah, see, the appearance policy. Like, because you're representing.
It's a prominent symbol of the man. There ain't God. No. I mean, there's no way in hell I play for the Yankees anyway. But...
No. Yeah. George Steinbrenner, thank you. Steinbrenner, that's what it was. Like, I don't understand that. But I always think back to, because, baseball is boring, and I love Dan Le Batard. I love everything that he does, but I'll never forget, if you haven't heard it, you got to listen to the clip when Derek Jeter took over the Marlins and they just fucking raked and just traded away everybody, like, and got rid of it, and just, it was basically what's Le Batard called? He calls it like a minor league team for a major league team posing as a minor league team. It's just a farm system for bigger players because they don't ever pay and they don't make the moves. But I think they were playing the Cubs, and Billy Gill was at the stadium, and they were talking about how bad the Marlins were going to be. It was opening day, and on the first pitch, Ian Happ takes fucking the pitcher for the Marlins yard, and he goes, Billy's like a huge Marlins fan, and he's like, and the first pitch, and oh my God, it's a home run, the first pitch, and Dan's like, and that ends our coverage of the Marlins for the entire season. Like, it was so perfect. So that's another whole other show I'd like to talk about, is just how Jeter as an owner is just the worst. I'm going to put that as a no in the Marlins. Go Marlins.
Well, I mean, they did make the playoffs last year.
Yeah, but surprisingly. It's like, what is up with these Florida teams? Like, the Rays are just always kind of sneaky good. The Marlins, are those only 2 teams in Florida? Yeah.
The Heat.
Oh, God, the Heat. Speaking of NBA, nice segue, Travie. We'll get to Meyers Leonard.
Oh God, Meyers Leonard. What a fucking.
Oh, dude, come
I put
on.
better Myers in my notes, but yeah.
Um, with the
But
trade
yeah,
deadline.
I mean, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. You got it.
I was saying, we want to talk about free agency in NBA, and it seems like every big free agent's always got Miami on their list.
Yeah, except
So
no state income tax and fucking Miami weather, dude.
yeah, like Oladipo. That's the sources I've heard say that's where he wants to go.
Well, if
It's
he wants to go
Miami.
play third fiddle to Tyler Harrow and Jimmy Butler, go be it. He's dead to me. So,
Yeah.
I'm excited for Karis LeVert to come back. They're saying he's been back at practice, so that's good. Yeah, and
I think the big news I've seen today and yesterday was LaMarcus Aldridge.
yeah, and I think that's good. Man, LaMarcus Aldridge was always like my second. When he was with Portland, I had his jersey at one point in time. I don't know what happened to it because I love LaMarcus Aldridge. I liked him at Texas. He's got that freaking. He was a little late on the 3-pointer game, but he's added it to him. But man, when he post you up and give you, it wasn't a dream shake, but he'd fake you to the left. That turnaround jumper was just deadly for all those years. I always thought
you talked about him for a long time. So
yeah, I've always loved LaMarcus Aldridge, and he's going about it like he's always been like he was from Texas, so I could see him going back to San Antonio. I always thought he'd go to the Mavericks, but I understand going to San Antonio. And it's kind of been a letdown. But as soon as he got there, like Kawhi was hurt, and then Kawhi left. Like there was never that great pairing. And he was supposed to be kind of that transition from like Tim Duncan, big to LaMarcus Aldridge, big with Kawhi, and then Kawhi Paul George his way out of San Antonio.
Kawhi his way out of San Antonio.
Yeah.
Well, I've heard that they're talking about him sending him to Portland again.
Dude, that'd be dirty.
Yeah, him and Dame and
CJ McCollum, and then nope. What's his name? What's their big middle European guy? Eastern European guy. Nurkic? No. I think it's Josip Nurkic. It's not Vucevic. It's Nurkic, yeah. Carmelo still lighting it up. Good for him. Hoodie Mello is back. Sorry, my dog. Freaking Blake Griffin going with the Nets. I just don't see that ending well for the Nets at all.
Really? I don't know, man.
I don't. Not just Blake Griffin going there, but I just think the Nets as a super team.
I mean, they're on kind of a tear right now. They're only 2 games out of first, so they're first place in the East. So I don't know. It's either all going to come together and they're finally going to win a championship, or it's going to blow up and just.
No, the Nets it's going to blow up.
8 years ago when they got Paul Pierce and Kevin Garnett,
Yeah. Well, I just think Kyrie's just too weird of a dude, man. He's just too weird of a dude. Like, and he's just unpredictable. I guess is the. Like, what if he just decides that he hates basketball? Like, he could do that. Like, he's a flat earther. Like, nothing's out of his realm of his possibility when it comes to Kyrie. And so that's what scares me about that. But I mean,
that's what he's got going against him for me. So.
That he went to Duke.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he didn't even play that much that year. He was hurt a lot. Kind of like a foreshadowing of his freaking career.
Yeah.
And talk about it. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, I think the team right now is surprising me the most. Houston. They lost 13 in a row.
Thank God. Eat it, Oladipo. Yeah, with John Wall and Oladipo, wasn't Boogie there? And they bought him out.
They let him go.
Yeah.
So this ain't gonna work. Yeah, he's busted now. He's a little old.
Well, I mean, he came back from an ACL, then he tore his Achilles. Like, that's just bad.
I feel bad. I would feel bad for him if he wasn't just such a punk ass bitch.
Yeah.
Like, he went to Kentucky, but I still don't like him.
Well, he's also gay too, or bisexual.
Yeah, that's what you tell me.
I had a reliable source on that one. But I saw a tweet the other day. Blake Griffin hasn't dunked it since 2018.
What?
Yeah. Yeah, hold on. Let me see that.
Really?
I think it's 2018 or 2019. Yeah, 2018 or 2019. I'm trying to see what.
Wow. Yeah, you're right.
4/22 of 2019 was his last dunk.
Dang.
It's been 2 years since Blake Griffin's dunked. And that was his game. That's all he could do. He's like Russell Westbrook of big men. Like, that's all he could. But that was kind of like a stat of the day, like kind of bullshit. Like that blew my mind when I saw that. I was like, what?
Yeah, I mean, think about back when he was with Lob City. Like that was.
And that was what I was kind of thinking when you talk about a exciting. I was thinking of an exciting baseball team. I was thinking of Lob City. Like they were super fun. So we had the All-Star game last Sunday. 3-point contest was fun. I thought that was real exciting. That was real fun. But even better than the 3-point contest was just the in-game shots that Dame and Steph were taking. That's just
the game itself was almost a 3-point contest.
Right. And I would like to prepare something for a future show of like, I love the 3-point shot. I talked about it last week. I'm all in favor of it, but is it kind of killing the game? Because that's all it is anymore. It's just, I think I read a stat for between the Timberwolves and I think it was another bad team, Timberwolves and I can't remember, but combined they took 96 3-pointers. Like, and that would be crazy, but that's the new normal. Like, I think Anthony Edwards put up like at least 16 3-pointers.
Jeez.
And he's like a 31% shooter. And they were like jacking up threes like the 24-second clock at 18, they just jack up a three, like 18 seconds in the clock. Like they wouldn't even run an offense. The offense was dribble down, crossover, pull up three, bang. And he wouldn't even hit. I think he was like 2 of 16. Like it wasn't even good.
Yeah, when you run an offense like that, yeah, it's ruining the game. But like when the Warriors were doing it a few years ago,
well, yeah, because they had ball movement. It was fun.
Yeah, that's an example of it working and it working good or well.
But I would like to see this crap of Damian Lillard just pulling up a half court in a regular season game.
Oh, that'd be nuts.
Like, because, I mean, it was like effortless for him, and he was like a step behind the half court and just pulled up and just, it was on. Like, it was just in it. And Steph can do it too, of course, but I think like that, they got to add a 4-point line or something, or move it back. They got it.
Yeah, I don't know if there's enough room to move it back on the sidelines.
Yeah, that's true. I guess you can't shoot a 4-pointer on the. It's no corner shot. It's only like they'll have like a dash at the like 3-point lines here. Just have like a dash back here, like a dash line.
It's either make the corner threes twos and
yeah, that'd be I'd be right with that. Dunk contest was okay, just okay. I think it's kind of weird because I don't feel like they had enough time to really prepare, and I don't know, it just wasn't. Without the crowd hype, it's not as fun. Like with an empty arena, it was just a bunch of guys dunking. It was just.
Yeah, I mean, how many? We're like what, almost 40 years in a dunk contest. Like,
and once people.
How creative can you get now?
Now they need to be like NBA Live 2008, where you could do like front flips and shit, like in the dunk contest on your controller. Like, I used to bet my creative player. I used to be able to, like, he'd be like tap A, then you have like a combination of buttons you would hit, and you do like a back handspring into a dunk and stuff. They need to, and now if that starts being it, but I know Anthony Simons, he had that one where he grabbed the ball from about 11 feet. That was pretty sick and dunked it. I like that one a lot. I think Cassius Stanley, he should have done more with his vert, because that dude can jump, has an insane vertical. Like, he should have like kissed the rim or grabbed the corner off the top of the backboard or something stupid like that. I'll never forget, I think it was LeBron in his high school dunk competition grabbed a quarter from the top of the backboard. I remember
Yeah,
watching it.
honestly, I think I don't know. Like the skills challenge, I think could really be something good if they just made it better.
I'll say
I know
Domus
it's
won it. It was kind of nice seeing it was two big men. It was Vucevic versus Domus, and Sabonis won it. I thought that was pretty kind of cool that none of the guards made it. It was both, and that's kind of showing how like well, I mean, it's a European invasion when it comes to the big men. Like these big men that can pass and handle like that, but also can shoot the three. Like that's just you're
right.
6'10", 7 foot. Like you're a chameleon at that point. That's positionless basketball. That's what you want anymore. Is like, and that and this is a solid topic. Is I just don't understand how Karl Anthony Towns is. I mean, bless it. Dude's had a rough year with his family dying, and then he got COVID and been hurt. But he's one of those chameleons. He can hit the three. He can pass like that. Like I put him up there.
Honestly, I don't know why he's still with the Timberwolves.
Well, and that's I watched the YouTube videos. Like, how long is he going to wait it out before he pulls a KG or Kevin Love and gets out of there?
Like, I mean, they might be one of the worst teams of all time. That's how bad they are this year.
I guess they got a lot of young talent that's good. I mean, Malik Beasley's there. They got Anthony Edwards. They got Jared Vanderbilt.
God, Jared Vanderbilt.
Yeah, Cat, of course. Who else they have? They have a couple other good younger
Yeah,
guys.
Ricky Rubio, D'Angelo Russell. But
Yeah, I forgot about D'Lo. So I don't know. They hopefully they find a good coach, and I think another topic to broach is the hirings lately of coach or firings of coaches lately. Atlanta fired their coach after a slow start. Like I don't get it. I guess John Collins is gone after this year. Like he's going to be a free agent, but I don't know. Hot take. And I guess that's the part I don't like about the NBA anymore is like with the formation of super teams, we know it's going to be Lakers and the Nets probably in the NBA championship.
right.
And while those 7 games might be good and probably will be good, it just kind of takes out the fun factor. I mean, I'm trying to think. What was the Dallas Mavericks team in 08 that lost to the Golden State Warriors with Jason Richardson or Steven Jackson and Baron Davis, and like that was fun. And so I'm just excited once people start getting vaccinated, being more smart about COVID, we can get those fun crowds back into stadiums to get the energy back up.
Well, yeah, I've never understood about NBA why they pull the trigger. So I mean, they do the same thing in the NFL.
Yeah.
I honestly think the NFL is just as bad. It's sometimes it's not going to work. Like with Freddie Kitchens, obviously that was never going to work.
Yeah, oh God.
Yeah. But you don't get teams enough time to buy into your philosophy. Of course, they're going to do bad.
Right. Exactly.
It takes time to build chemistry.
How much longer do you think LeBron's going to play?
Man, if he's like Tom Brady, he'll be there another 10 years.
I could see him play until LeBron gets to the NBA.
Let's see. He got drafted in 04, so he's 35.
Yeah.
I can see 5 more years.
Yeah, Bronny will be. Yeah, that's what Scott said until Bronny's drafted. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. It's going to be like that. Ken Griffey Jr. and his dad, like, they were on the same team. Like, that'd be it's going to be badass. But the crazy thing with LeBron is he's probably going to still produce when he's like 38, 39. Like, he might.
Yeah, he might go until he's 45. Like I said,
I've never seen a specimen like he puts so much money into his body. He takes care. He's never hurt. Like, he could play. I mean, I don't. He hasn't fallen off a cliff at all. Like he's in his 18th year.
He's got to be exhausted because every year, I mean, how many straight finals did he go to? Like,
way too many. Like
7.
Ooh, Skyler says he'll sign a 1-year deal with whoever drafts Bronny, guaranteed. Now that'd be tight. That'll be cool. LeBron to LeBron James Jr.
Gets drafted by the Pacers.
Oh.
That'd be legit.
Do the Pacers draft Bronny James? That'd be sick. I watched some Mike Korzimba on YouTube sim like 50 years on NBA 2K. And the Pacers won it 4 years in a row. We had Cade Cunningham and Bronny. Cade Cunningham was like MVP, but they never like re-signed anywhere, signed anywhere else. I was like, freak, I'd take that 4 years in a row. So Travis, what you think about this Dak deal? Tell me about this Dak deal.
Finally, that's all I gotta say about it. Is finally. I'll never understand why they prioritize Ezekiel Elliott over Dak Prescott. I mean, you could get a 6th-round running back and produce the same thing that Zeke did this year. I would never again buy into the running back being an all important position. You know, you shouldn't draft a running back in your first 10 picks. You just shouldn't.
Yeah, and
the first round. Sorry.
Yeah, and I think they got away from that for a long time until it was like. Yeah, that's true. Skyler says so much money tied up into 3 guys who haven't done a thing so far. And
yeah,
and the Cowboys had the formula for a while. Like Zeke was running so well because they had the best offensive line in the game. When everybody was healthy, with Travis Frederick and Tyron Smith and La'el Collins and I forget who else. Like that whole offensive line was just bad. Awesome. I mean, just I could run behind that offensive line.
Yeah, it was the best offensive line in football for a solid 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, and then wear and tear happens. People get hurt. Yeah, no big deal. And then we saw Zeke not have any holes. But you're right. Like they could have had Tony Pollard was doing good like behind that offensive line, and he was a 2nd or 3rd round pick.
I mean, we had DeMarco Murray. Every running back we've had for the last 10, 15 years has done pretty well. That's what I mean.
I forgot about
DeMarco Murray. I get it. Zeke was really good.
He was a
once in a generation, but
he's not Barry Sanders though.
No, he wasn't a top 5 pick
or a sweetness Walter.
And he's not versatile enough like McCaffrey to be worth it. It's just so.
Or
we'll see. I mean, if we had Dak this year, I think we would have been a playoff team.
Well, yeah, because you play in the worst conference in football.
That's not the point. It would have been a playoff team.
That's true. You do have me there. I wonder where Alex Smith's going to end up. I really do.
Yeah, I was thinking about that today. Chicago was one that stood out. If they can't get Russell Wilson or Deshaun Watson, he could be another stopgap so they find somebody. Beyond that, I mean, a good backup to a young quarterback like Cleveland. He could go to Cleveland, be a backup to Baker Mayfield.
Yeah.
He could go to Minnesota, be a backup to Kirk Cousins.
Or just take over Kirk Cousins' job.
Or take that job. I don't think that he's going to have any issue finding a job.
I don't think so either. I wonder what he wants, if he wants to be a starter, he still showed that he could play like as a starter. Like, I mean, he did good enough on a bad team, like for what he was given. I mean, also I've come to the conclusion that next fantasy football season, Terry McLaurin is quarterback proof. It doesn't matter who his quarterback is; he's just that good. So that's my dude right there. Yeah, 100%. Skyler said Bears have a deal with God to always have a defense but never have a quarterback. It was signed in blood years ago, and it always will be. Well, and I'll never forget the Memorial Day after the Bears drafted Mitch Trubisky. Scott was out there defending it, saying it wasn't a bad deal to move up to get him when they could have had Patrick Mahomes or Deshaun Watson. And the Bears surprised everybody by taking Trubisky. And
he had like one good year in North Carolina.
He played 10 games, 10 college games. So imagine Deshaun Watson on the Bears team any of those years. Like, they'd be.
Imagine Patrick Mahomes.
Oh, I remember. Yeah, imagine having Patrick Mahomes on that team. Now, my question is, does Patrick Mahomes develop and have the free reign in offense under without being under Andy Reid. Probably not, but still, he's a generational talent. Like he's showing that.
Right. Well, Kansas City's going to be interesting to watch because they just let go two of their starting tackles.
Eric Fisher.
Yeah, Eric Fisher and Mitchell Schwartz.
I say Eric Fisher's. I'm surprised they let him go. I mean,
yeah, he was the number one pick.
Well, we have left tackle
Trubisky. Yeah.
And I kind of got behind the hype that year. They went 12-4, 13-3, and then the double doink got him out of the playoffs. But he was trash in that game. Like when it mattered the most for a playoff game, he was absolute garbage. And then he just didn't show any improvement. When Nick Foles can come in and show you up in that Atlanta game that they should have lost but won, because Nick Foles came in and threw 3 touchdowns in the fourth quarter, and I hate the mentality of these quarterbacks. That just get Joe Flacco is a good example. Just get afraid to throw the ball downfield because they're just so scared of turnovers. Well, if you're not taking shots, they're going to crowd the box and you're not going to get anything. It's third and 9, and fucking Joe Flacco would do a screen pass, get 3 yards. Like that's part of fucking Mark Trestman's being offensive coordinator, of course. But it's just
man. And I heard that Chicago was trying to get Carson Wentz. I'm like, why?
Yeah,
you just trade one. They're the same person. Why would you even?
And I'm curious to see what we can have Skylar on to talk about that maybe next week if you're interested, Skylar. I'd like to hear your takes on that. So save them for your Wentz takes. I'm curious, and you can have your Cardinals takes too. Yeah, I mean that's and if he does, maybe he does get. Is he really that old? I don't know how old he is. He's kind of like, I remember when Cleveland drafted, what's his face? That was a pitcher, Brandon Weeden.
Oh, Weeden, good lord, dude. That might have been the worst draft pick of all time. Like I remember watching that draft and they called that name out, and I'm like, oh my god, he was 28 years old when he got fucking drafted. Like, wow, what are you thinking?
Brandon Weeden, dude. Oh shoot.
Like he was our backup for like 3 years.
Yeah, and he didn't do anything. Like
Brandon Weeden, dude.
Oh shit.
That's. I mean, I don't know what's worse, that or the Johnny Manziel pick.
I was all team money Manziel, dude. I wanted him to succeed so bad. I wanted him to be good.
I didn't want him to fail, but that still wasn't a good pick.
Have you watched any of that, the Fan Football League at all with him in it and Josh Gordon?
No.
It's fun, dude. The fans call the plays, and then for you can automatically take the extra point, or it's a one-on-one wide receiver cornerback duel at the 5-yard line to try to get the 2 points.
Do they take shots on the sideline, or?
I wish. Dude, it's fun though. It's real fast paced. It's indoor, 7-on-7, but it's a lot of fun. Not like it has different rules in arena, of course, but I think it's been fun to watch. It's kind of like a little filler. I watch it on YouTube.
They stream it online, or
they stream it online, and like fans can input what plays they want. I mean, the teams are called Glacier Boys.
Hell yeah,
is one of the teams' names.
Glacier.
I'm so mad about Allen Robinson being franchise tagged. I've never been so disappointed in my entire life. Oh, hold on.
Well, I mean, I told you earlier, John Brown, Emmanuel Sanders got released. I think he might be a good fit for you guys.
We had John Brown. We already had John Brown.
Did you?
Yeah. Oh. We already had John Brown, and Joe Flacco forgot how to throw the ball past 20 yards. And nothing he could do. Emmanuel Sanders, I wouldn't be mad at that, but since Allen, that's all. The only person I wanted was Allen Robinson, because he's quarterback proof too. He's been proving it this whole time in Chicago.
No, that's true. Why the Jaguars ever let him go, I don't know. But
well, they got. Do they still have D.D. Westbrook? I think so. And Aquinas,
that's my brother.
Whatever is Aquinas St. John's or something like that is his name.
So we got Mercedes Lewis.
Dude, that dude's been. He played for the Ravens too. He's been everywhere. He played for the Saints. They still do have DD. Okay, Jacksonville, man. If they get Trevor Lawrence, and then Urban Meyer's going to fake a health issue at the end of the year and retire again. But if they don't do well enough, because that's his MO, it's like, oh, bad season. My heart can't take it. I'm done. And pops up somewhere else. Him and Gary Kubiak, dude. I've never seen somebody be like, oh, I can't do it any longer. Retire. And then their offensive coordinator someplace the next year.
That's not as bad as Bobby Petrino.
Dan Levitard dressed up as him one year for Halloween with all scratched up face and a neck brace after his motorcycle wreck. Oh shoot! What do you have down here about Big Ben? What you got about that?
I mean, what does Pittsburgh do? Like that's a no-win situation for them either way. Like you keep him and
well, he's coming back. They said he's coming back.
Right. Well, I'm talking like going forward. Like, what were they gonna do? Not keep him and then piss off their entire fan base? You know, you don't throw away a legend like that. But then again, you kind
of R-word legend.
So I mean, ultimately, it's probably the right decision. I mean, they started out; they were 11-0, so it's not like you know the talent is there. Just put it all together. You know, I don't know.
Is Juju honestly, free? I think Juju's a free.
I hate the Steelers, so
you and me both, dude. I think Juju's a free agent, or he's close to be. Excuse me. James Washington is too, I think.
Was Juju the one that was dancing on the team's logos? And
yeah, they asked him to stop. He's like a TikTok star. Oh, shoot, man. You lost, so there goes my. Well, I'm with you there now. Our seasons are done, so guess I got to become an Indiana State fan now.
No, just UK should just schedule it.
Oh, like a pro-am game.
Yeah.
Just sell tickets for that. I mean, I don't really have anything else. It was kind of a slow week, especially with the NBA being off, so we didn't have any much movement on that. So I don't really have anything else. Next week. Oh, anybody that's out, this is going to be going up on YouTube, but also we're going to be giving away. We're going to be doing a bracket challenge, a TNT bracket challenge. You can submit your brackets with us. I'll be posting an email on my Twitter. Anybody who submits a bracket, and Travis will post it on his too. Follow him. Submits a bracket. Whoever wins the bracket challenge, we're going to be giving a $20 Visa gift card away. Just a little incentive to get in there. So it's going to be fun. This is our favorite time of the year. I'm already taking off next week on work. Thursday, Friday, I'm not working. Watching basketball all day and just absorbing it all because it's mainline heroin. Like it's just injected into my veins. That's all I want. So, like I said, this will be going up on my YouTube channel for anybody that wants to read through. Next week, we'll have Skylar on. We'll plan to get in here, Skylar. Think of some topics you want to talk about. Shoot them to me via DM or something like that. Don't even sign up. I'm going to win. I don't know. I always overthink it, dude, and I always freaking lose because I just overthink everything. I need to just go with my gut, submit it, and we'll be good to go. And we'll see where it goes other than that. So, and then I think week after next we're going to have Kyle on McCormick talk about a little Cubs, see what his kind of thoughts are on the baseball season because opening day's what April 5th, I think. I'm not sure at the top of my head, so that's going to be an exciting time.
It's April 1st.
April 1st, April Fool's Day. Oh, the Braves are going to be good. April Fools. Anyways, I appreciate everybody hanging out with us tonight. It'll be going up on the YouTube. Follow me at Tyler Denton. Follow Travis at XKX Travesty on Twitter for any updates in regards to the show. Oh, 6 of 8 in the next round. Oh my gosh, that's rough. We appreciate all the support. We're going to be trying to. Next week. We look forward to. Also, we're going to have our top 4 March Madness games of all time. I'm not going to call it a Mount Rushmore because that's Barstool's thing. We're going to come up with I don't know. We got to come up with something cheesy for like the TNT or something like that. We'll brainstorm that. But top 4 March Madness games all time. Might show some clips of maybe the endings of these games. I've already been thinking on mine. I got a couple surprising ones on there that I just really love over the time. Adam Morrison crying cannot be on there because even though that is like one of the best all time March Madness games. So, anyways, appreciate y'all hanging out with us. We'll see you next week, 8 o'clock. Be here.